Hello and welcome back to Logan Sounds Off. Today on my podcast, I'm going to be reviewing UK Grim by Sleaford Mods, an incredible hip hop duo that are iconic not only in England but across the globe for their signature, bold, and really interesting lyricism. This album was released in 2023 and this was sent to me by Gilded ALM on a black standard vinyl, also coming with a lyric sheet so that you can read along with Jason. So I think that's really awesome. UK Grim is a fantastic record right off the bat, but there's a lot of things that I love about this album that we're going to get to in a couple of minutes. But this was released by Rough Trade Records. The links for Rough Trade and Sleaford Mods will be down below, and if you would like to buy this particular vinyl or the CD of this album, please do look in the description below after you finish streaming it online. I would strongly recommend you buy this album and support the artists behind it because it is a really good album. But before we get into my review of the album, I do want to just take an opportunity to ask for anybody who watches my content a lot, please do subscribe. I appreciate it a lot. If you don't watch my content that much, please do, after you watch the video, check out my back catalogue. I also do other reviews. I've reviewed books and I also do interviews as well, so please check that out. Also on my website at www.logansoundsoff.com. Please share this if you have something that you'd like to say to the Logan Sounds Off community. Feel free to drop a comment down below and I'll try my best to get back to you. And as well, when you're finished the review and you did enjoy it, please do leave a like. It supports the channel so much more. So thank you for that, guys. And now we're going to get into the review. Starting off with the vocals, Jason Williamson is a fantastic not only rapper but just singer. His style is really cool, where it's quite monotone and meant to sound nearly a bit darker, like he tries to on the chorus of I Claudius, or whether he's kind of going for a more melodic, nearly harmonizing on the chorus of Right Wing Beast as well. I think that's really awesome. So Jason's so dynamic as a singer and uses his voice to his advantage by establishing a mood on the album by using his voice, because the beats are very interesting, that some of them can sound nearly fun by themselves, but when the lyricism is added, it nearly adds a whole new meaning to the song. And as well, some beats sound a lot darker, but nearly with the vocals it makes it a little bit more fun. I'm not saying Sleaford Mods, the topics that they talk about isn't exactly fun in any way, but I mean nearly the sound of the vocals or the instrumentation can be fun, but it's really how they work together which establishes a sound for the song, which I think is really cool. And that kind of leads me on to my next point, where if you're unfamiliar with Sleaford Mods, I've mentioned two different instruments here: vocals and beats. Now when I say beats, I mean your drum track as well as maybe your synth or your bass, all electronic most of the time. That's it. There are two men behind this mission, one of them being Jason Williamson, who we just mentioned, the singer. So that's incredible that these two guys made this album, and I would love to see their concert, because I'd say it would be absolutely insane in a cool way though, because it's just two guys making incredible music that it sounds like there could be nearly a couple of rappers there and one beat maker or two beat makers, or maybe there's a producer as well who doesn't come on stage but works on the record to add extra beats. I don't know, not like your standard producer, but more in hip hop kind of producer making more beats, or I don't know. It's just insane that it's just two people making the fantastic music that they do. And then as well, let's just speak about the music in general, because I spoke about specific tracks there, speaking about the vocals to give examples, but overall, looking at this album, if we take out the vocals, as we mentioned earlier can kind of change the beats. If we take the beats by themselves, they're bold and they're powerful. They have a really, really interesting sound and a signature sound at that. And I think they play into the vocals very, very well. I really, really love the usage of instrumentation, especially on the opening track, UK Grim, the title track. You have, and I was actually playing around with this on my record player, there's a pitch shifter, and there's this bass just continuing playing quavers for a couple of notes, except that it's nearly, there's two tracks, but one's being shifted nearly slightly in a semitone and then coming back, that it sounds really off. So I just love those little things nearly, and those use of nearly drum tracks that are electronic that sound a bit realistic but are too electronic to sound like they've been made to sound real. They sound bang on, because I think with a lot of especially electronic drum tracks, I play around a lot on some programs looking at drums, and I just can't find a good sound because I don't make hip hop music. Whereas for Sleaford Mods as well, they could get essentially normal drum tracks and it would sound cool, or they could get really, really electronic sounding, but they hit the sweet spot that it sounds a bit strange. It sounds like it could have been sampled with some extra electronic beats layered over it. So I think that's really, really cool. I may be reading too deep into this, but just in my opinion, they're really, really awesome, especially somebody who plays around a lot with MIDI and sees a lot of rock kits that sound like they've been through tons of different processes and everything, that it just comes out sounding really, really plasticky and not even mainstream, just sounds really just not what you're looking for at all. So I thought that was really, really cool that Sleaford Mods, if you guys are watching, you hit the sweet spot. You didn't have it too electronic, you didn't have it sounding too acoustic, you had it just really, really awesome. So I love that. And then as well, where you're mentioning about the lyrics, I would love to just dive into, instead of the vocal style, which we spoke about, oh my god, my grammar today, guys, that we spoke about, I'd love to just discuss the lyricism. Obviously, if anybody doesn't know Sleaford Mods, especially any of our younger listeners, I know it doesn't say on the cover here, but parental advisory, explicit content. Just so you're aware, anybody who does listen to Sleaford Mods will know what I'm talking about. So I won't be sampling any lyricism today, thank you. But what I will say is that the lyricism is very strange on this record. It's not normal at all. To me, and I am the, like, if you're looking for a hip hop head, don't come to Logan Sounds Off. I'm barely scratching the surface of getting to know hip hop. But I really can't link any other lyricism that I've heard, not just in hip hop in general, but across music that sounds like the lyricism on this record. It's quite monotone, so it reminds me of spoken word, but at the same time, there's songs like Right Wing Beast, where it's kind of melodic, as we mentioned in the vocal section of this particular episode. So it's really hard to say kind of who Sleaford Mods are inspired by lyrically, and it's cool though, and in the best way possible. It's weird, their lyricism, it's so strange in a cool way though. They established their own sound, Sleaford Mods have, and I think that's really, really awesome, especially for such a dynamic, and we're gonna get to, like, just actually, they're so dynamic with Sleaford Mods. Sleaford Mods, they don't have the same sound for every single song, and although there are so many songs on this album for how the length of time, like, this isn't a 2 LP with the 14 tracks on it. They aren't all 4 minutes, but they do fit in 14 tracks, I believe around 14 tracks. Yeah, 17 tracks on this record, but, or sorry, 14, oh my god, 14 tracks on this record, but they keep it, you don't get bored, which is really, really hard to keep that consistency. Again, ear fatigue is a big problem with music at the moment, but Sleaford Mods have just completely diverted from that line of traffic. Sleaford Mods, no ear fatigue whatsoever listening to this record, all straight the way through, fun music that I love to listen to. And as well, then, I do just want to say, regarding speaking about the lyrics, I mentioned there the length of these songs, they seem short and then they seem long at the same time. I'm confused. this record seems so long, but it actually doesn't take that long to listen to. But it seems so long. Maybe it's just the dense amount of lyrics that are in this. Like, if you're not a big fan of lyrics and you like instrumental stuff, like, this is purely based on vocals. I would love to hear an isolated Sleaford Mods vocals record that it's just like, I can just imagine something like Tied Up in Knots, but just vocals. Like, that'd be incredible. But overall, before we get into my track highlight, I do want to just speak quickly about the vinyl. Fantastic pressing, really cool black vinyl, has all the tracks on the side, and just super super cool record. Really really love it. Thank you to Gilded ALM again. Their YouTube channel will be linked down below if you want to check that out. Thanks to Gilded ALM for sending me this. So really really awesome pressing. Again, please do buy it, support the artist, it really helps. And last but not least, my track highlight. This is one of the greatest songs ever. Full stop. This is a fantastic song. I love this so much. Like, as a standalone single, I'd buy this on a 12-inch or a 7-inch or a 10-inch. Doesn't matter if it's 20 quid, I'd buy it. Right Wing Beast. So quirky, so strange, and just fantastic. Definitely check out Right Wing Beast. Will be linked down below. Such a fantastic track and such a fantastic album. So now it's my rating. The last part was the last part, but there's nearly a separate part of the episode. I'm going to be rating this a strong 5 stars out of 5 stars. I love this album a lot. Really, really awesome. Links down below, guys. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys soon. Bye, guys.